What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video for my Omi homies, and today I want to take a look back at the year 2021, at what was a great year for Veve as a company. They accomplished a lot of tremendous things over the last year, but more importantly, I want to take a look forward and take a glimpse at what's to come the year 2022. I created a timeline that I'll want to share with you guys a little later in the video about how I think the next 6 months will play out. All right, but before we get into that, if you like this sort of content, make sure you hit that like button. It helps get this small video out to more Omi homies. Also consider subscribing to the channel and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is linked in the description below. Now, when we look back at the year 2021, 5 years from now, and we watch the documentary on the year 2021, one of the things that's going to stand out the most is NFTs coming to the forefront and NFTs going mainstream. All right. This year was a banner year for NFTs. We saw CryptoPunks selling for $10 million. We saw Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs selling for millions of dollars. We saw a Beeple NFT sell for $90 million. And it seems like everyone is getting into NFTs. There are wearables by Gucci. We have Nike getting into it. And every major brand is seemingly getting on board. Now, NFTs were so big in 2021 that Collins Dictionary actually made it word of the year. This article from Cointelegraph states that global search interest for NFTs surpassed crypto for the first time in history. So more people are searching online for NFTs than for crypto, and Cointelegraph predicts that non-fungible token sales could eclipse $17.7 billion by the end of 2021. Now, all you have to do is go to Google Trends and search for NFTs, and you can see the trend line. All right, there was a huge run up and spike back in March, and then things cooled off into the summer. And ever since then, there has been just a big run up in interest in this space. And here's a comparison of NFTs and crypto in terms of search volume on Google Trends. You can see that NFTs are in blue and crypto is in red. And you can see that NFTs just recently surpassed crypto. Now let's take a look at Veve in Google Trends. There was a huge run up back in November. That's when the Disney announcement was made. Subsequently, interest cooled off, but now we see that interest is on the rise in Veve. So now, of course, I don't expect this NFT craze to last forever. I do believe that it'll trend for a period of time, and then people will lose interest, and a lot of the projects in this space will lose most of their value. And that when we do enter an NFT bear market, I expect that 95 to 98% of projects won't come out on the other side. But that is why I invest in the Omi token, and that is why I collect Veve NFTs. It's because that they have the IP and the licenses that have withstood the test of time. Spider-Man, Batman, Disney, Star Wars, all of these brands will be here long after you and I are gone. All right, they have withstood the test of time. They will be here forever. They're not going anywhere. And that is why I chose this project to invest in. Now, the fact of the matter is that we are very early in this space. We've yet to see NFT utility play out. We've yet to see the metaverse unfold. We've got play to earn gamification that's just now getting started. And we're years away from realizing full AR and VR capability. Now, think about all of the licenses that Veve has already secured, from DC to Marvel Comics to Disney. Think about the iconic NFTs that they've already released, the Grail pieces, the Todd, the Rizzo, the Golden Moments, the Steamboat Willie that was just released. And keep in mind that we are still super early. When I think of Veve NFTs, I think of an iceberg, right? And the ice that's sitting above the water are the NFTs that we know about that have already been released. But the part of the iceberg, which is the bigger part of the iceberg, right? 90% of the iceberg that is underwater is what has not yet been released, and brands that we don't know that we have yet or that are not signed yet. All right, so all of this below the water, all this iceberg below the water, these NFTs are yet to come. Many of them will be introduced in the year 2022. Now, when we think back on 2021, a lot of people, specifically Omi token holders, were a bit disappointed that things didn't play out the way many of us, including myself, anticipated. All right, we thought that the Omi token would reclaim a new all-time high, that it would get over a penny, possibly hitting 2 cents by the end of the year. And of course, that didn't happen. And we know the reason why it didn't happen. It's because things were postponed. All right, but when you look back at everything that was accomplished in the last 12 months, you can't help but be happy with the way the project is going and think that the fundamentals of this project are stronger than ever. Just take a look at Veve's monthly revenue. Back in January, they had $13,000 in monthly revenue. Fast forward to November, and they were at $34 million. So they went from $13,000 in revenue in January to almost $35 million in a single month in November. And then take a look at all of the milestones and accomplishments of the last year. All right, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a list off the top of my head. There was the Marvel partnership that was announced. There were new categories of collectibles announced, including comics, art, stamps, and that partnership with the U.S. Postal Service. The token was listed on some small exchanges. Of course, there was the historic Disney partnership back in November. The Omi utility plan was announced. The Veveverse was announced. The Master Collectors program was introduced. The app hit 1 million active users, and we got through phase 1 and phase 2 of the Immutable X migration. So what 2021 did was set the stage for 2022. 2021 set the foundation, and now in 2022, the team is going to build on that foundation, and the plans that were introduced are going to come to fruition. So I created a timeline of events for the first 6 months of 2022. Keep in mind that this is speculative, all right? We don't know when a lot of these things are going to actually happen. We don't know when they're going to debut. So I just speculated on when they might happen. But more than anything, it just gives us a visual framework and a timeline of possible rollouts and developments for Veve. All right, so here is a possible 2022 Veve and Omi timeline that I created. Keeping in mind that some of this is speculative, we know that all of these things will be happening, but we don't know exactly when they'll happen. But let's take a look at January. We know that in January, phase 3 of the Immutable X migration will start and hopefully finish within a month, and the Omi token will officially be on the Ethereum blockchain. We know that the MTL process will be underway in January. That is the ability for people to cash out of the Veve app. Now that may take some time to complete, but we know that it will be in process come January. We also know that interoperability is coming for some NFTs. These are most definitely going to be artist NFTs, possibly Labbits or serial killers, but we'll finally see Veve NFTs leaving the Veve ecosystem and entering the world, going to places like OpenSea. It'll be interesting to see how they perform and how much exposure Veve gets as a result. Now we know that we're getting some new collectible categories, so perhaps one of those will be introduced in the weeks to come. Then moving along to February, I'm hopeful that we can get a new exchange listed. The team has stated that they have a few different exchanges in the works. Sometime in February, we can also expect Veve to hit 2 million active users. They're currently almost at 1.5 million. If they keep up this pace, they will hit 2 million active users in February. Because on February 27th, and I expect a ton of Pokemon speculation in February, because on February 27th, it is Pokemon Day. Now, if you thought that this community was turned out by that Andre Jick teaser video, when everyone thought that Andre Jick was going to announce a Pokemon partnership, what we really got was a Patreon. Wait until February rolls around and Pokemon Day is on the way. All right, I expect a ton of speculation. Now, whether or not it happens, I have no idea. I actually don't expect it to happen in February just because I don't believe that the app is ready yet. All right, we're not ready for millions of people to flood into it at one time. And so I do think that Pokemon is in the future. I don't think that it's in February, but I do believe that the community is going to think that, and people are going to go crazy with speculation. So February should be a fun time. And by the end of February, maybe we'll get the Master Collectors Program Phase 1 underway. I haven't heard of a firm date for when they're going to roll that out. I know that they're in the process of planning Phase 1, which includes things like rankings, point systems, etc. But maybe that could happen in February. Fast forward to March, and we'll see a progression of the Master Collectors Program with perhaps another new category, and the web application is also on the way. Of course, now this is all speculative. I don't know that these things will actually happen in March, but we know that they will happen sometime in the near future. Moving along to later in the year, I do expect another new exchange, and hopefully it's a big exchange. My hope is that we'll get Binance or Coinbase at some point next year. It would be really nice and bullish if that could happen by the end of the first quarter. We should also start to see Phase 1 of the Ecomi Utility Program. Again, there's no firm date on that, but Phase 1 of Ecomi Utility will be Ecomi staking. Now, what we do have a firm timeline on is the unlocking of the founders' tokens, and this will be the final unlocking of tokens. By the end of the first quarter, we will have a fully diluted token supply. There will be 300 billion Ecomi tokens in circulation. Fast forward a bit and we'll move through the utility program. We'll move through the Master Collectors Program. We'll possibly get that third new exchange in the first half of the year. And then towards the middle of the year, I do expect the Veveverse land sale to take place. And that's when things will start to get interesting. The Veveverse is going to allow this community to interact in an immersive way, to interact in ways that they have not yet been able to do. It's going to allow them to utilize their NFTs in new ways, to rent them out, to earn passive income. And the Ecomi token should get finally recognized as a metaverse play. So all good things are coming. Now, what I also expect to happen in 2022 is delays. I expect things to be delayed. If 2021 taught us as anything as a community, it's to expect delays. Nothing rolls out perfectly. Sometimes we have to wait a little longer than we expected, all right? So I wouldn't be shocked if the Veveverse didn't come until the last quarter of 2022. It's such a big project that I do expect delays. But it will come one day. It will be here. And then the delays won't matter. So that's what I'm thinking about in 2022. I think that all of the things, all the groundwork that was laid in 2021 is going to pay off in 2022. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What are you most excited about for the coming year? Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and subscribe to the channel. As always, I hope you all have a great week. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. I will see you in the next video.